Hello and welcome to another episode of Video Game Reviews. Today I'll be talking about Astalon, Tears of the Earth on Nintendo Switch. Astalon is technically a roguelike Metroidvania, but in my opinion, the roguelike elements are minimized here. Typically in a roguelike, there's temporary progress and then there's permanent progress. Here in Astalon, all progress is pretty much permanent, like the vast majority of it. So the only real exception is that when you die, you do start back at the beginning of the map of the, castle, or in this case, it's a tower. So you start back at the beginning, which sounds like a big deal, but it doesn't take too long into the game before you'll get items that allow you to teleport through portals and, items that allow you to use an elevator system to navigate to the different areas with relative speed, which makes death really just kind of an inconvenience and honestly not even a terribly inconvenient one. This game took me around 16 or 17 hours to finish. And it presented a decent challenge, I would say, without being unreasonable. So in other words, it wasn't so easy that I was bored, but it also was never really frustratingly difficult. Like, I feel like they did a pretty good job of nailing the challenge balance in this game, at least for me. Now, admittedly, there are a few things in the game that were arguably a little too cryptic and may warrant a Google search. Normally, that sort of issue would lose a significant amount of points, of my esteem anyways, for the game. But I was enjoying Astalon so much that the very few instances where this came up, where something was maybe a little cryptic, and I did resort to a Google search a few times. Those few instances, I honestly was just able to brush them aside again as minor inconveniences or shortcomings that were absolutely worth the trouble. Overall, Astalon is a well-designed game, which is all the more impressive considering that it was developed by a very small team. Like, the bulk of the work on this thing was done by 2 people. And of course, I don't want to shortchange any of the other team members, but, if you watch the credits, it's very clear that there were 2 people that were involved in multiple roles, and there were, I don't even remember, just a few other people involved in the development of this game. So if you'd like to support a small indie development team that produces, I would say, very good work, then Astalon is very much worth checking out and picking up. Astalon reminds me a little, just vaguely, just a little bit of Agalos, which is another 8-bit indie Metroidvania on the Switch, which I've also got a review for here on the channel. However, Astalon is a much better game, in my opinion, than Agalos. So if you're trying to decide between the two for some reason, there you go. Astalon, Tears of the Earth, the way to go, I would say. Astalon also vaguely reminds me of slightly under the radar NES games, such as Milon's Secret Castle and Legacy of the Wizard. I wouldn't exactly call those hidden gems, but they're not quite AAA either. But anyway, so there's some similarities there. And I feel like, what's similar? I feel like the similarities should be apparent as you watch this video of Astalon, if you're familiar with Milon's Secret Castle or Legacy of the Wizard. So the presentation is solid. The chiptunes are above average, in my opinion. The graphics are heavily NES inspired, with some cool background images sprinkled throughout. Kind of like if someone tried to do Symphony of the Night on the NES. which could very well be an existing homebrew project for all I know. Just, think huge Gothic statues and that sort of thing, and you'll have an idea of what to expect. But there's definitely some cool background images here. You begin the game as a party of 3 characters, which will eventually expand to a party of 5 characters by the end of the game, including one character who is clearly an homage to Simon Belmont, scoring, of course, huge points for me. When you first start the game, you can only switch characters at campfires, which are save points, but eventually you'll get an item which allows you to switch characters on the fly, a la something like Curse of the Moon. If you can't tell, I really enjoyed my time with Astalon, Tears of the Earth. Without worrying about being super precise, I'd probably give it probably an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. Probably a 9, I would say. It's not perfect, but it's very, very enjoyable. It's certainly well above average. It sells for $20 on the eShop and is fully worth that price. I think if I remember, I got it on sale, but I would have gladly paid $20 for this experience. I mean, what are we talking about here? That would be a little over $1 per hour of gameplay if you only play this game once. And I've already gone back. I've started a new game plus. I've gone back to go all completionist on my original playthrough. I mean, it's just a fun game. And so I feel like there's a very real and decent chance that you will play beyond one playthrough with this game. I know that I certainly have, and to be frank, I don't do that a whole lot. So there's something to be said for that. I mean, look, I've paid $50 or $60 for a AAA game that I finished in 10 or 15 hours and have never touched again. And I even regard some of those situations as being worthwhile experiences. So this thing for 20 is a total steal. Also, Astalon does have like I said, it does have a new game plus mode in case that sweetens the deal for you. I know a lot of people don't care about that. I don't always care about New Game Plus, but I was so into this game that, I definitely wanted to check it out. So there's a really good value here. There's potentially a lot of gameplay if you're so inclined. At a minimum, if you're a fan of quality neo-retro games or quality Metroidvanias, put Astalon, Tears of the Earth on your wish list and get it on sale. But one way or another, check it out. Check this game out. Again, totally worth full price. I wouldn't even sweat it. Look, thanks for watching. Please click like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, click that bell so you get the notifications whenever I drop a new video, please. And I'll see you guys next time, whenever that may be. Bye-bye.